Hey, it's Blaire, the Love Guru from loveguru.net, thealiennetwork.com, and horsehealer.net. Today is February, maybe February 13th or so, 2025. And I am taking one of my walks, and I thought I would share with you some insights that I have been having, some realizations, and just there's been a lot of shifts going on lately. So I hope that you are taking advantage of them and experiencing the better version of yourself, stepping into higher levels of yourself, because that's what's up for grabs now. So what I'm talking about more specifically is, you get on this path of doing healing work on yourself. And the healing work that I'm talking about, that I do, that I guide my clients in doing, is work where you heal your mental, emotional, and childhood wounds. You heal the ways that you've been programmed. All this excess mental blocks, emotional baggage that you've been carrying around. And we're all carrying this stuff around. And, people are either totally unaware of the gunk that they're carrying, and maybe they're even in denial of it. So you have that part of the spectrum. And then on the other side of the spectrum, well, as you move along, then people understand, okay, well, I do have these negative thoughts, or I have unhealthy relationship patterns. Things aren't going so great. Maybe I have past trauma that needs to be healed, things like that. And they go, okay, well, I have this stuff. And then you live with it, and you kind of just deal with it, and you figure everybody has it, and whatever, you just ignore it. So that's like another notch on the spectrum, So I'm like kind of walking you through the spectrum here. Then the next notch, as you move along, then you start seeking out help. Hey, I need help healing this stuff. Like, oh, actually, no. Like, the next one is like, you start trying to work on it yourself. You're like, I can do this myself. Maybe you read some books, maybe you watch some videos, and you're like, I can do this myself. And then you go to another point, and you're like, okay, well, actually, I need somebody to help me. I actually want to fast track this. And that's when you reach out to like a coach or a healer or a spiritual teacher or whatever. And then you're fast tracking it, because that person's like guiding you through the journey. They can see a bigger view of like what's going on with you. They've already walked the path. So you fast track your success. And then what happens is you get to another level. And again, we're walking down the spectrum here, is that I need to like maybe slow down or just stand still because I'm a little bit out of breath here. Then the other thing is that you get to like another level in the spectrum, which is like, again, like the other side of the spectrum, is that then you start processing things really quickly on your own. You start going within, and things start shifting on your own. And from time to time, you might reach out to somebody, but which I guess is like another notch. But then you move beyond that, and you're just like completely connected to your soul and source, and things are just shifting like super fast. And I'm sure that there's notches beyond that, but that's where I am, all the way on like, let's say like the right side of it. And things have been shifting like incredibly quick. Like things will come to the surface and I'm like, ooh, that's some disgusting shame I'm kind of sitting with. Like, oh, I've been dealing with this for like my whole life, but it's been like maybe more intense. Like I've been trying to work with healers to clear this for like over a decade, and like all this stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, it just clears like that. Like literally happened to me like a day or two ago. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so free. And what happens is on this journey is like you step more, as you heal things, you step more into your power, you step more into freedom, you start feeling like amazing. Which you get all along when you clear stuff. You start feeling more of your power, but then you become you become more and more powerful, which is amazing feeling. I mean, it's quite addicting. And then what happens is, like, as you go through this healing journey, you step into mastery. You understand how this game works, that this matrix that we're living in, you understand how it works. And not only do you understand it, but you're starting to manipulate it. You're starting to create it. You're starting to play with the energy of the circumstances, the physical circumstances that anyone on the earlier versions of that spectrum would be like, well, that's set in stone. And then what happens is, like, spirit and your soul is like bringing you opportunities that you're like, they're like, okay, and here, transform this. Like, this is what's showing up. Use your mind and, like, that sort of like ninja power that you now have, and shift it. And you become this like incredible master. You step into mastery. And then what happens is you move beyond that and you step into like this goddess zone where you are in a space that you don't have to do anything. Like, literally, like, the world, it's like I mean, I haven't really watched the movie in full, The Matrix, but that's what's coming to my mind. It's sort of like the movie The Matrix, where, like, that shit is just, like, happening all around you, and, like, you're constructing it. But it's not the law of attraction bullshit where your mind is configuring things. You have fully and completely stepped into the area of your soul where your soul is creating. And that's where your true power is. So that's also like the other aspect of, like, when people do spiritual growth or self-growth, it's all, a lot of it is of the mind. And you're moving, fidgeting things around. The stuff that I guide people through is the healing of your soul. And when you're doing healing of your soul, that's where your power lies. It's not a mental thing. I mean, yes, you're processing stuff with your mind, but you get to this space of really allowing your soul to create. And then it's no longer a situation where you're like, oh, I want this or that, whatever it might be, a house, a client, money, I don't know, whatever it is, a job, you know, like whatever somebody, again, law of attraction, what people would do is like, I want this person and I want this job and I want this certain type of client and I want this certain type of house. You'll leave all that shit behind. It's garbage. The way, when you're creating in that aspect, even though those things are valid and you can still have them, I'm not shunning them. I'm not saying that that's bad. That's part of this game that we play. But you recognize, hey, what I'm creating from my mind is a very small aspect of what my soul can create. And I've already seen what my soul has been able to create through various times of my life. And I'll just kind of leave it at that. And it's been big manifestations, really quick and big manifestations, and much bigger than what my mind can materialize as far as like what I want, what little Blaire wants. It's, hey, what does big Blaire want? So I am just loving this like goddess energy of like, I don't need to do anything. That this world around me, this illusion, is being created by me, and I have refined myself, healed myself, cleared enough stuff that I'm in full trust and faith and knowing that I'm allowing it all to be created around me. I stand still. Like I said, I go for walks. That's what I do a lot of my day. I go for walks. I hang around. I sit around. You don't do much because your soul is creating. And you step into that faith, again, that God or goddess faith, that mastery faith, that you're like, I trust what my soul is bringing to me, and I'm a clear enough vessel that the shit's created, like, not not the shit, but the like amazing stuff is being created around me, that I'm just letting that flow. Whereas when you're still gunking it up inside, carrying all the programming that you have and those limiting beliefs and the fear and all that stuff, you feel like you need to control because you're scared, because you don't trust your path. You don't trust yourself. And you know what? Rightfully so. You shouldn't be trusting yourself.